Welcome to the story of the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, like you've never heard it before.
This story isn't told to you by the one Dragonborn that masters all, but told to you through the eyes of many different characters.
From soldiers in the Civil War seeking peace and order,
to seeking freedom and to remove the weakness from her lands.
From those cursed by the night, seeking to be the vigil in the darkness.
To warriors seeking honor, glory, and companionship.
To a shapeshifter and worshipper of the Daedra who seeks to live a life as a warrior.
To a mage seeking power and the arcane knowledge of Aetherius.
To assassins seeking fear and bringing the cold touch of Sithis.
To thieves seeking wealth beyond measure.
We all hope you enjoy
this story
of the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim.
Journeys of the Dragonborn Episode 3, The Dawn of Kings. We had made our way to the Tomb of Ysgromor, the very first king of Skyrim. Tonrak had said there was a word wall above Ysgromor's tomb, which would aid me in my journey. But we weren't just here for the word. This is the Tomb of Ysgromor, and most of us just wanted to see the place and pay our respects to Skyrim's greatest hero of legend. I made my way to the word of power that whispered to me from afar, and I learned its power. I want to be frankly honest. The word I had learned won't help me against dragons. The best this could ever serve me is if I was without weapons and was to be attacked by animals. Some of these shouts are crazy, but some of them are pretty much useless. The wall wrote, "This stone commemorates the horse Sarvira, the most courageous animal ever to charge the snowy battlefields and give his life for his lord." But like I was saying, the trip was not a waste. I wanted to pay my respects to Ysgromor, the very first harbinger and king of Skyrim. Every Nord that draws breath across Tamriel draws it because of Ysgromor. Tonrak has told me that he will give me a tour of this place, and how he ended up here, long before he met me. Lead on.
Okay, Dragonborn, let's begin this little tour. I was here around a year ago or so. Long story short, the harbinger before me, Kodlak Whitemane, had been killed by werewolf hunters. Now Kodlak was a werewolf, and so was I at the time. Kodlak's last wish was to cure himself of the blood, so his soul could rest in Sovngarde. So we came here to the Tomb of Ysgromor to cleanse his soul.
Can't really believe I'm here. The tomb of the Nords' first king. From what I've read and heard, Ysgromor sailed here from someplace further north, looking to find some land and create something from himself. But the elves that lived here at the time slaughtered his people. And he escaped their slaughter. One day returning with a fleet so large that it blocked out the horizon. Doesn't matter if you're from Skyrim. If you're a human, you know of Ysgromor. He returned with vengeance and slaughtered the elves, killing any and all in his way, destroying their cities and burning all their knowledge and histories for trying to wipe out his people. He made sure that nothing of the elves would be left. He didn't just try to kill every elf, but he went out to erase everything they were. And the Nords have hated elves ever since, but they hate us a little more at the moment, and I can understand why. I'm no Nord, but Ysgromor deserves all of our respect for what he achieved. The first Nord to wipe out a country of elves and turn their lands into his own.
Ysgromor wasn't really a Nord, but at the same time, without him, we wouldn't be here. I only wish Brianna was here to see this. She would have loved to be here.
What happened with her? You never spoke about what happened after you got her back, and why you came back to us without your sister.
She wanted me to return with her back to Windhelm and ready for the war again. And I was going to. But in my heart, I knew I had to come back to Ragni. I just couldn't abandon her. And when it came down to it, Brianna was angered that I chose the Dragonborn over her. She called me weak and a coward for fighting alongside our enemies. She stormed off to Windhelm on her own, but I followed behind until I had to enter the rift. I feel like I did abandon her. What happened to her? happened because I wasn't with her. And she has always been hot-headed. I've always been there to make sure she doesn't get too hot. I left her alone once before, and she suffered greatly because of it. And again, I abandoned her. We were born as two. I feel as if I have failed my sister.
You can't blame yourself over that, Sigund. Even more so over coming back without her. I think all of us were born to be here. I don't think any of us could abandon the Dragonborn even if we wanted to. I would give my life for her in a heartbeat if needed. Your sister could never understand that, and she's angry at what happened to her, not at you. She can't see the bigger picture. I'm sorry for what we did to her, but you did the right thing coming back. Both of us might be fighting each other in this war, but we can both agree that we would give everything we have to make sure Ragni can kill that beast. I'm still loyal to the Empire, but I feel as if they had ordered me to harm her, I would turn my blades upon them in a second. The Dragonborn needs us, and deep down, we need her.
Now here we cleansed Kodlak's soul of the wolf, and his soul vanished off into Sovngarde. It was here he named me the Harbinger, and ever since, I've tried to follow the old ways, the ways of companionship and honor.
The mighty companions had become a werewolf pact for a few hundred years. Tonrak had put the companions back on their original path. I think he had done a magnificent job in restoring the name of the companions. A truly honorable man indeed. There's my gold coin. I'm glad to see they've been getting along. Almost like they are friends. I better go and pay my respects to Ysgromor. Are you two ready to get moving? You two look to be deep in conversation. I'm glad you've been getting along. I'm glad to see it.
Yeah, we've sorted out our differences, Dragonborn. We have an understanding of...
Loyalty. We are loyal to you, Dragonborn. We both know our real enemy, and our enemy is your enemy.
Wow. I'm proud of you both. When we first met, I was so nervous you were going to kill each other. And you guys almost did that one time. It means the world to me that my closest friends are no longer warring with each other. Thank you. Both of you. Now I need to pay my respects to Ysgromor, so let's get ready to move out. Ysgromor, I am nothing compared to who you were and what you created. But now I face a great evil that could very well burn down what you created. I know I am young, but I will fight with all my strength to protect what you built. I will honor your memory by defending Skyrim, its people, and its future. When we were leaving the tomb, it was pouring down rain. This is the last thing any of us wanted to deal with while in the frozen north. Wait. Yes. I have a shout for this. How haven't I thought of doing this earlier? I don't have to worry about rain ever again. This was where Ysgromor landed when he first arrived in Skyrim with his two sons. They had built a massive tomb for him in Windhelm, but he decided when he was to die that he would be buried where his boat first met land. How he first came here for peace, but took these lands by war. Now our next stop will be Sarthal, the first city of men. This was the home of Ysgromor. Minerva knows the histories pretty well. He fled his land because of civil war. He came to Skyrim to find something for himself, a place to live in peace. And Sarthal was that place. I remember the stories my father told me. More of Ysgromor's people followed him to Skyrim, and over time the human population grew too big for the snow elves. Sarthal would become the reason why Nords now own these lands. Minerva was once here a few years ago, along with the small Khajiit, Jazargo. They were all recently new students when the college was exploring this ancient city. The College of Winterhold had been excavating the ruins during this time. She told me she had found something that was hidden for thousands of years, and she believes it's the real reason the snow elves attacked Sarthal. She has many different theories on the histories. Her most insane one is that the Holy Crusader that helped shut the gates of Oblivion was indeed the Daedric Prince of Madness disguised as a mortal. The idea of it is literally insane, And it would be even more maddening to say that sort of stuff around Cecilia since she knew and loved him. I might be able to slow time and change the weather, but not even I would say those words around Cecilia. I'd rather fight Alduin than her. Look at this place. The first city of men on Tamriel. To imagine how they lived during a time where Skyrim was controlled by the elves. We're at the very start of humankind's footsteps into Tamriel. I better let Minerva take the lead from here. After all, she's been here before. She'll know of all the traps left behind.
Here I was again after all these years, where it all really started for me. Come to think of it, I guess fate had grander plans for me. I came to Skyrim in the year 199. My plan was to explore Skyrim's Dwemer ruins and its ancient Nord ruins. That's what I was all about back then, exploring ancient cultures and unearthing their secrets. Now back then, I had a plan for when winter arrived in Skyrim, to head to the coldest part of Skyrim and study at Skyrim's very own school of magic, the College of Winterhold. Learn some new spells and increase my skill in the arcane schools of magic while I waited for the snow to thaw out. Then I was to continue my exploration of Skyrim's ancient ruins, and after a few years of this, head east into Morrowind. I hear the Dwemer were quite different in those parts, and I wanted to explore their ancient Daedric ruins and what was left behind by the Chimer. But I guess fate had other plans for me. The college had just unearthed Sarthol at the time, and I was sent with the other new students to explore its ruins by aiding the professors in searching for ancient secrets. It was really my kind of thing, just this time I wasn't alone. Now a short lesson of history. This was the first real city of men in Tamriel, or at least the first free one. This was the civilization Ysgromor and his 2 sons would start. Ysgromor got along with Skyrim's original inhabitants, the Falmer. Now one night they attacked Sarthol, slaughtering everyone they could find. Now it's believed the Falmer slaughtered the Atmarans because of their growing numbers, that they had to cull the humans. But I believe differently, because I've seen what was hidden here, and I believe that's why the Falmer attacked Sarthol. Not because of the humans' growing numbers, but what they had deep in their halls. The Falmer wanted the Eye of Magnus, a divine relic of immense power. To be fair, maybe they attacked because the Atmarans wouldn't hand the eye over. The Falmer were an advanced race back then. It very well could have been that the Falmer asked the new arrivals to hand the artifact over, to ensure its safety and their own. Humans are like children. They don't live very long, and with such items of power they could cause a lot of damage. But if there was talk of peace, the histories don't write of it. They write of the elven slaughter, the cruelty enacted by the elves, how they spared none. To me, that sounds like something they would write to hide the facts and paint a very grim look on the elves of Skyrim, because the Falmer didn't kill everyone. Maybe they let some escape because their goal wasn't to cull the humans, but to capture the Eye of Magnus. And in their mercy of letting some escape, they let the wrong ones go. This would be the final and fatal mistake of the Falmer. Those that escaped were Ysgromor and his 2 sons. They returned to their lands and told their people of the Falmer and the slaughter they had committed on them, rallying his people together in their hatred for the elves of Skyrim. Ysgromor was already hell-bent on avenging his people, but when he returned to Skyrim, his oldest son was killed by a storm, making the man even more angry. He returned with a fleet of 500 ships filled with men eager to spill elven blood. Ysgromor returned to Sarthol to make sure the elves couldn't use the eye against him. But during the Falmer's raid in Sarthol, those charged with protecting the eye had collapsed the way, trapping themselves and ensuring the Falmer would never find it. It would have been a very different land if they had. The Atmarans that had landed would have been obliterated by the Falmer if they had found the eye. I've seen its power used by one of my own kind. If the Falmer had it, not a single Atmaran would have survived. With that power at their fingertips, the Falmer could have very well been the rulers of all of Tamriel. But they didn't find the eye in time, and Ysgromor and his forces had retaken Sarthol and painted it red in elven blood. Ysgromor didn't find it either, and pressed on with his revenge. slaughtering the Falmer, killing any and all he could find, destroying their cities and burning anything of their histories and teachings. By the First Era, the Falmer had vanished from Skyrim. What remained were twisted creatures that rose from Dwemer cities left abandoned after they had vanished. And ever since then, the Falmer had been known as blind, mutated creatures. That's until I joined the Dragonborn to help her find the Elder Scroll of Dragons. Until we went into Blackreach and found 2 Falmer, one of old and one born of the abominations. And if I had never come down here all those years ago, the Dragonborn would have never met me in the College of Winterhold. She might have never gotten the scroll she needed to learn Dragonrend, and she would have been killed. I was sent down here by the Fates, not to find the Eye, but to lead me on a path that would one day have me cross the paths of destinies chosen. Fate brought me down here all those years ago for her, to ensure that I was by her side. As was everyone here, our journeys all led us here, to follow her and help her save Skyrim and Tamriel. I guess those are the master plans of the Elder Scrolls, to provide those that will save the world in times of need, but to ensure others are there to help them complete their task. I guess those are the master plans of the Elder Scrolls, to prophesize those that will save the world in times of need, but to ensure others are there to help them complete their task. Like centuries ago when Cecilia was a companion of the Holy Crusader, and now again to the last Dragonborn. What did Paarthurnax call the Dragonborn? The doom-driven, those prophesied by fate. I wonder if in my lifetime, if we survive this, if I'll meet another one like Cecilia has. And will I be called by the fates to aid them too? Hopefully I won't be as cranky as Cecilia is. But then again, she's only human, and they weren't meant to be around for this long. Saying that, if I spoke about who I believed the Holy Crusader was, I wouldn't be around too long after Cecilia had heard it. I'm one of, if not one of the most powerful mages in all of Skyrim, and even I wouldn't want to cross blades with that vampire. A very fearsome warrior. Nothing makes you feel more invincible than having that immortal charge at your enemies. That's 200 years of anger and regret coming at you with a blade that eats your very soul. Sometimes I can hear her blade whispering. For a woman that hates the Daedra, she uses a blade that is a Daedra itself, known to eat the soul of its user and turn whoever uses it into the blade. But maybe vampires are immune to Umbra. Would make sense. Vampires' souls are owned by Molag Bal, so Umbra can't steal theirs. Maybe. Anyway, I kinda got off course there. Like I was saying, I was sent here by the Fates so someday I would meet the Dragonborn. But while I was down here, I come across a strange wall that I had seen a few of before. They all made me feel odd, like they had a purpose. And now that purpose has been made clear. To have the Dragonborn read words of power off of them, so she can get strong enough to face down an ancient Nordic god and defeat him once and for all. So it is prophesized. So this is where I found the Eye of Magnus, a relic of the Aedra. You should have seen it. It was so beautiful it made your very skin tingle.
So what was this eye, for us uneducated lot that have no idea what you're talking about?
The Eye of Magnus is an ancient artifact. It possesses a great amount of magical power. It could, say, make a mage of standard magical skill at least 50 times more powerful. Or at least it could before the Sigic Order took it away.
What happened to this eye? And who are the Sigic Order? We could have really used this eye fighting Alduin.
The Sigics are older than I am. Some of the greatest mages in all of Tamriel. Very secretive. Rarely seen or heard from.
Yes, indeed they are. Ever heard of Manimarco? He was killed before my time, but he was the first necromancer. Very dangerous throughout the histories. Helped Molag Bal invade Tamriel at one point. He was a Sigic before they removed him for, well, necromancy.
You still haven't gotten to the part where the eye was taken off of you. Let me guess. You mages messed around with it and almost destroyed something. Almost took out Winterhold for a second time?
No and yes. The Thalmor messed around with it and almost took out everything. At the end of the day, my power was unmatched, even by a boosted Thalmor runt, and I killed him. Then the eye was taken somewhere safe, so it couldn't be misused again.
Typical mages. This is how thousands die. Your lot mess around with things well and truly out of your control. This is why the Synod works with the Empire. So mages are trained and monitored so they can be held accountable for their actions.
Yes, you're right to a degree, but we are trained mages. We are a school that teaches others how to use magic, how to wield it responsibly. Your Synod is only there to lick your Emperor's boot and send young mages off to war to then kill thousands.
I like this one. She might be a mage, but she's got a serious set dangling down there. Now I don't like mages, rogue, or trained, but I know enough to know Minerva is one of the good ones. You both should have figured that one out by now. We should carry on with this word wall.
Thank you. It means a lot coming from you. And Tonrak is right. We should continue on, Dragonborn. The word wall is just down those stairs, Dragonborn. Let's find out what word it is, shall we? Typical for the two soldiers I refused to join when they held Winterhold to distrust magic. Though they do have a point. Too many of my kind fall prey to the power of magic and think they can control it. They think it makes them powerful, that it makes them better than everyone else. Magic isn't a weapon to be used to control, but a tool to be used. Letting this power go to your head will always end up having you killed. It was like my uncle used to say, great power becomes great responsibility. Never forgot those words. Right after he said them, he bloody died.
Minerva is a unique elf. It's kind of hard not to like her. She speaks her mind and doesn't like the Thalmor, and isn't scared to tell Senturos and Sigund what she thinks. I can see why Tonrak likes her. Here we are. Another word of power. It was a brand new shout, ice form. The first word of power was Iza, which translated into ice. The wall translated, "Here lies the body of Iglif Iceblood, who met his end not in glorious combat, but at the cruel touch of the withering sickness." To live life as a warrior and have the name Iceblood for the cold to kill you, that has to be rough. We better get a move on to Winterhold. I can't wait to sleep in a warm bed for once. Winterhold wasn't too far away from Sarthal, so we made our way back. Minerva said that all that follow me are welcome to stay in the college, so my forces can rest. And while they rest, Minerva told me she's going to teach me some magic.
I kept the college out of this civil war whenever it came asking, and now I'm housing Stormcloaks and Imperials within the college walls. But then again, this war against the dragons, is a war worth joining, and any that follow the Dragonborn can call these halls home, as long as they keep their blades to themselves. Now the Dragonborn is willing to learn some magic. Having a dragon's soul means she has an inborn ability to learn magic, so she should pick some of these spells up pretty quickly. First, I need to show her where she will be staying while she is here. This feels all too familiar. She'll be staying where I was when I first joined up. It's good to be home. It feels like an age since I've been here. I can't wait to head to my own bed for once. Okay, Dragonborn, this will be your room while we're here at the college. This used to be mine before I became the Archmage. I hope you like it. There'll also be some fresh robes that should fit inside the cupboard for you tomorrow when you wish to learn some spells.
Robes? I don't need robes to learn spells, do I?
Your armor isn't really needed here, Dragonborn. It'll be more comfortable to learn magic while wearing robes than it would be wearing armor. Now I'll see you tomorrow. It's up to you if you want to wear the robes or not. Don't worry about your companions. I'll have them sorted. Good night, Dragonborn.
My own room. It feels like forever since I've even slept on a bed. This place is nice and warm. I better get some sleep.
It's been around a month since I've been here. Feels like it's been forever. I'm excited to stay for the first time in my life. I feel like I've done enough adventuring for an age. If I survive this, I'm staying here for some years. I'll take up the teaching role a lot more. I just can't wait to sleep in my own bed. Ah, look at that. Tonrak is waiting for me. I don't know if I have it in me tonight to be with him. It's always so much fun, but gods, I'm just excited to lay in my own bed. Time to go and see what this handsome, rugged man doesn't like about mages, even after all the nights we've spent together. So what's this about not liking mages? You seem to really like being around me under the pelts during a cold night. And well, I'm an Archmage.
Sorry, I'm just blunt. Most of my life has been fighting mages, Aldmeri sorcerers in Hammerfell, and those dark wizards here in Skyrim. Most of your kind I've met have tried to kill me.
My kind?
Yes, elves and mages. But when I first laid eyes on you, I felt different. Like you were someone I could trust. Like I was saying, most mages I've come across were rotten to the core. The look they give you when they're shooting magic at you. The joy in their face. And when you get close and their magic can't help them anymore. And that face turns to fear before you take their life. That right there is real power. The ability to turn somebody from something into nothing. That being said, I've met some mages. 2 of them are with us. Well, one of them was before she was killed by a dragon, Ilia. She was a witch before she came here. I met her in some ruin in the Rift, stumbled upon her killing some of her own kind. I ended up helping her clear out this ruin and stopping her mother. And a dark elf I saved from spiders. She died in the Vale when those dragons attacked us. I found her in spider webs, left there by her own people. Found both of them with the foul sort of mages, but they both came here to do better. So it's good to see not all mages are twisted all wrong.
That was you? Both of them told me of a brave, noble warrior that had helped them. Can't believe they were talking about the same person. I knew there was a reason I liked you when I first saw you. This has piqued my interest. Let's go to bed, shall we?
This is why I like you, Minerva. You're different and right to the point. You lead, and I'll follow my suite.
Another one of those dreams. The Greybeards said I might get them. They also told me if I meditate somewhere in the open, that I could sense more words of power. I'll have to give this a try. Minerva was right. This is comfy. Never thought I'd ever be wearing college robes and learning magic, but I'm excited to start learning some spells. Be like Mother and start fires with a flick of my fingers. All right, time to go find Minerva and get this magic thing started.
Good to see you again.
Hey there.
Gods, isn't this place beautiful? I've seen some pretty places in my travels, but this place is so beautiful and calming and warm. How in Oblivion is this place warm? It's the coldest part of Skyrim, even going into summer. I hope learning spells is as easy as it is learning words of power. Having the soul of a dragon should make it easier, says Minerva. Can't wait to shoot fireballs at dragons, see how they like it. That's Kaldic. He didn't follow me north. That was rude. Didn't even bother to say hello. Oh, he wouldn't have even known it was me. I look like a college mage. Can walk right past my own people and they don't know it's me. If I ever want to sneak off somewhere, I know what to do. But for now, it's time to learn some magic. There's Minerva. All right, time to impress the Archmage of the College of Winterhold with my unknown magicka skills.
Well now, you look like a proper mage. Almost couldn't tell it was you when you came in. Now, my dear, are you ready to learn some magic?
I can try. Never really used any magic before. Well, apart from the words of power. Am I going to learn fireballs?
Fireball. No, Ragni, my dear. Let's start small and go from there. Like Mage Light. Be very useful to you when traveling into dark tombs looking for words of power. Now you give it a try. Imagine with all your will a ball of light and bring it to life.
Okay, I'll give it a try. Imagine a ball of light and it shall appear. Wow, I couldn't believe my eyes. It actually worked. It was amazing. Minerva was right. This will help me out traveling in the dark. She said people don't normally get it right their first try. This was but a test. For the day would go on learning other spells that could be useful in a fight, or spells I could use to block magic. We practiced all day. The smile on her face looked like she was enjoying trying to playfully kill me with magic.
Nicely done, Ragni. For your first time, that was pretty good. The dragon blood flows thick through your veins. Could even be as good as me one day. Maybe.
Thanks, that was fun. When you weren't trying to kill me. Hope we can do this again. Maybe learn some more offensive spells.
Of course we can learn some new spells, while we're here or out on the road. But first, you must follow me to my quarters. I have a gift for you.
You have also been invited for dinner by the great Jarl of Winterhold, courier. He has asked me to invite you, for a feast. He doesn't wish for the Archmage to attend, though. That there is too much bad blood against the college for the collapse of Winterhold.
He wants to invite me to a feast, then insult me at the same time. What happened here happened hundreds of years ago. If he won't allow Minerva to come with us, then tell him I'll take out what's left of Winterhold with my voice. We all go, or none of us do. You tell the Jarl that, Sigund.
I'll drink to that, Dragonborn. Great Jarl of Winterhold, my ass. Riverwood has more of a population than this waste of ice. He can kiss our asses if he thinks that Minerva isn't coming along.
Okay, I guess I'll just go tell the Jarl you threatened to take out his home. That will go down well, I'm sure. From an invitation to a feast, to a war, I guess?
Yes. Tell him he can shove his offer up his arse.
Hold on. Sigund and I will tell the Jarl we cannot accept his hospitality because Minerva is with us, and without her, you have declined his offer. That's all we need to say. Nothing about taking out what's left of this place. Let me deal with it.
I agree with Senturos. You have a responsibility with the gifts you have, Dragonborn. Don't go using them as threats. You are here to protect, and we are here to protect you. So mind yourself.
Okay, we'll let the two soldiers deal with the Jarl. Now it's time for my gift, Dragonborn. Follow me. That got a little heated. I'm glad she stood up for me. But Cecilia was right. She shouldn't be threatening her powers on anybody. But then again, she is young. She's only been around for 19 or 20 years. Sometimes I forget humans age much quicker than us elves. We both look young. But this is my 73rd year. She's still youthful and impulsive. With the weight of the world on her shoulders. Maybe I should take this teaching slower. She shouldn't be learning very dangerous spells right away. Anyway, time to get my gift. This shall help her greatly, I think. I had forgotten about that. Yorland Greymane had finished the Dragonborn's helmet and had sent it with the others that arrived in the morning. Now I've decided to give the Dragonborn Azura's star, because maybe Azura knew of the Dragonborn's fate, but knew that I was to find, restore, and keep it safe for its true holder. Azura's star in the past was destroyed by Martin Septim to open a portal to oblivion in attempts of saving the world, and Martin was a Dragonborn. So now the star falls to another Dragonborn in attempts to aid her in her journey in saving the world yet again. I know in my heart handing off this artifact to the Dragonborn is the right thing to do. She might be young, naive, and impulsive, but I've seen her strength and character. I know that she is the best of us and the last hope for all of Tamriel, that I would lay my life down to protect hers. I know this would be the will of Azura, and all those that follow her into the Dragonfire. Also, Yorland Greymane has sent this. Try it on.
Minerva had gifted me the most beautiful thing I had ever seen. A Daedric artifact of Azura. It was as beautiful as the one I had from Marillia. And my Dragonbone helmet had been completed and sent to me. I guess it was time to try it on. Wow, this thing was heavy. Really heavy. Was hard to breathe in this thing. How am I meant to fight a dragon in this, when I can barely turn my head without making my neck sore, and this is only the helmet? Don't think I'll be able to fight in armor that heavy without dying inside of it of exhaustion first. Day one wasn't so bad. I did get in trouble with Cecilia, and maybe she's right. I would never use my voice to destroy a city, but in my anger it just came out. Minerva won't be excluded from anything. Neither will Cecilia or anybody that follows me. It just makes me angry when people mistreat my friends. These people are like a family to me. I haven't felt this way since I was young. I feel part of something. And anybody trying to split that up will feel my wrath. I love them all, and would do anything for any of them. I've never really had friends before. Not like this. Minerva said that we were all destined to be together. If I was given a choice to never fight vampires or dragons, and instead went into Cyrodiil as a bard, I would always choose this life, over and over again. Because of those that have followed me. Without them, I could have never done any of this. My strength is my friends, not my soul, and not my voice. Without them, I would have been killed by a dragon fighting on my own, or given up hope and died along the way. And day by day, new people come to join the fight. I will never be able to pay them back or their loved ones if they fall. But maybe a good death is its own reward. It's been a busy day, and all that magic has made me tired. Might have an early one tonight. Might either do some more magic or go searching for those ancient ruins on the mountainside in my dreams. It's dark in here. That spell I learned will indeed come in handy. Wow. If Mother could see me now, I don't know if she would be worried or proud. This helmet looks fearsome. It looks like it was crafted by a master. And it was. Made by the famed fires of the Skyforge. Made out of the very dragons we have killed along the way. If I'm to wear this stuff, I'm going to have to suffer into it. At least that's what Father used to call it when he first made me wear iron armor. I thought that stuff was heavy. And it was. But over time it felt like I had nothing weighing me down. So maybe this will be like that. I'll suffer into the armor until it feels like it's a piece of myself. Anyway, I know that's going to suck. But I still have some time before it's finished, so I guess I'll just enjoy moving around in my old armor. Anyway, I better get some rest.
Need something?
You know, it's not just the thrill of adventure. It's wondering what might happen after with such delightful company. Whenever you're in the mood, you just have to ask. Well, aren't you the romantic one? I was hoping you'd say that.
Why are you walking around with your mask on, Mother? You know you don't have to do that anymore? Nobody is going to stop you now. You're a companion of the Dragonborn.
And why are you walking around near naked around me?
You've seen it all before, and plus I'm comfortable in my own skin. And so should you be. Pale or not, you'll always be beautiful. Don't let others' fear hide who you are. You're better than any one of them. And now's your chance to show it. Also, what was with you shutting down the Dragonborn today? You know she's young. I was once like that too.
What? Hot-headed and impulsive? Freya, my dear, you are still young. But you were raised and trained by me. You and her are different people. She doesn't have your discipline. And we need to be hard on her when we need to. We know she's got a heart full of gold. She's a good person. That's why we are protecting her. But if this dragon power goes to her head, we could very well be training a monster. So when she says stupid things like that, we need to remind her of what not to become. We could be fighting with her now and fighting her tomorrow if she fell prey to her own power.
You don't believe that, do you? When I look at her, I see hope. A better tomorrow. Well, I actually see a tomorrow. Without her, everything here will cease to be with the dragons. I don't see her losing herself to her own power. She's a truly good person. I just can't see it.
I feel the same way as you. When I see her, it brings back the same sort of feelings I had for the Crusader. I saw hope, a leader in the dark times. Someone that could bring us back into the light. I see all of those same things in the Dragonborn. But all through history, good people have fallen prey to their own power. And the power she holds and will grow into will be like nothing Tamriel has seen in thousands of years. Maybe even greater than Riemann Cyrodiil and Tiber Septim. And both of those men conquered the world and brought much death and destruction in their conquest.
But you're forgetting one thing. She's a woman, and those two were men. Men are born for conquest, and only a rare few of us women are too. But she's not like us. She wanted to travel the world and play songs. But when Skyrim needed her, she joined the fight against the vampires. And now she continues to fight because everyone alive needs her too. I will never believe that she could go bad. There's just none of it there. You know what? I'm going to go have a word with her about all of this, so she knows we still have her back. You can come off as a little hostile, but I know better than anybody that you care.
Hopefully not dressed like that. I know you're a very upfront person, Freya. But I don't think the Dragonborn is going to talk to you like this. Put something on before you go out, please.
What do you mean? She likes women. She's with one. Talking to her might be easy if I take these in with me.
By the 9, Freya. You truly are an animal. If you're going to talk to her, you will be wearing something. There will be no discussion on this whatsoever.
I might be an animal, but I'm not uncivilized. After all of these years, it's still fun to stir you up, Mother. Now I'm just going to have a little talk with her alone, so she knows we both care about her. I'll explain a bit about what you said. We're both young Nords. She'll listen to what I have to say. Now remember to feed, and stop hiding behind that mask. You look better when you're you. Ah, Cecilia. She's always been so critical. She's always been ready for what could go wrong over what is going good. But I guess 200 years will do that to you. I guess being alive for that long, you have to see a lot of bad. And don't really ever see yourself getting old and dying. You just know you'll live forever and see bad things after bad things throughout the years. The same horrible stuff happening to different generations. I just don't see the Dragonborn going bad because of the power she holds. She wasn't just some random Nord out working the fields or fighting in the war when she became Dragonborn. She was fighting to protect the people of Skyrim from vampires. She was already out there serving the people of Skyrim. And she's still doing exactly that. It's just she's protecting us from something far worse than vampires. Minerva and all of them talk of fate, that we were all meant to be here. That those Elder Scrolls foretold all of this, all of our lives. I don't know about that. My road is my own. I live how I wish to live. But if any of that is true, the Fates chose the right person to wield the dragon's magic. She's a leader, a person to put all of our hopes into. Sure, she's young. This will be her 20th winter, but that's the reason I follow her. She's so young and has the weight of the world on her shoulders. But still, she stands up tall and smiles, and continues the fight because she has to. I'm only 31, and somehow I look up to her. I'm only 31 winters old, and somehow I look up to her. It reminds me of the stories Cecilia used to tell me of St. Martin. Don't be surprised. I've read all of the books. I might look like a savage, but I was raised by a vampire. So I did a lot of reading and learned of our histories. Had no choice, really. When your mother is part of that history. She told me the story of St. Martin. It's an interesting story of hers. Today he's a saint and savior of Tamriel. But to her, he was just a simple priest. Somebody she was protecting inside the chapel when they were surrounded by Daedra. She remembers the fear and panic all over his face. But how both of their faces lit up when the Crusader walked through the doors covered in Daedric blood. How he went from a scared priest who had lost faith into a man of hope that led his people through its darkest times. how he gave his very life to save Tamriel. I believe that Ragni is like him, a true hero of Skyrim, that she would give her life, as short as it has been, to save Skyrim and everyone beyond if she needed to. Both of them are Dragonborns, and are very alike in more ways. Cecilia told me that Martin had no idea of his blood, that he knew not that he was a Septim. He was a secret son of the Septims, where if the line was to fall, the hidden child of the Emperor would be called to rule and wear something called the Amulet of Kings. Cecilia told me only those of the dragon blood could wear it. And when evil came to his lands, he stood up and protected the world, because he knew he had to. Ragni is just like him. She had no idea what she was, but when Skyrim called, she followed the call. Like I had said, she was already following the call fighting the vampires. And that's why there's no possible way she could ever go bad. Both Ragni and Martin had no idea what they held in their blood. They had no idea that the world would need them to save it. But both stood tall and served. That is why I follow her, why we all follow her, why every last one of us would gladly die for her. After all, a good death is its own reward. I want to show her that I will always have her back. I want to give her something that could very well help in her travels. Something I've had with me for a very long time. Something gifted to me by my Lord Hircine. That's Ragni's lover. She's got a smile all over her face. That lucky set of fangs. I should get to know her better. After all, both of us are pureborns. If she's just left Ragni's room, then she still has to be awake. Wow, I couldn't believe my eyes. When I opened the door, I was gifted with such a sight of beauty that I didn't know where I was. My heart skipped a beat, and I felt a warmth spread through me. She was breathtaking, a vision of beauty. That's a good enough reason for me to sacrifice my life for. I was just hoping to talk. Sorry, I'll be outside when you're, dressed.
Was that Freya? What does she want at this time of night? You can come in now if you'd like.
Okay then. But if she's still naked, she's getting a greater gift. I'll never bite the hand that feeds me. Well, that's a pity. By Hircine, I got all worked up. Sorry, Dragonborn. The concept of knocking is new. I don't have any doors where I live. I'm sorry, like I said. I don't really have any doors where I live, since I kinda live in a cave. But I just want to say, you are so beautiful, Dragonborn. When I saw you, I swear my heart skipped a beat.
It's okay, Freya, and thank you. What can I do for you at this time of the night?
I wanted to talk to you about the afternoon when Cecilia called you out. Today, when you threatened to take out Winterhold. She still cares about you. I know this. This is just the way she is. She's quick-tempered. And I guess just worried that all of this power you have could turn you into a different person. From the good woman you are into a tyrant, I guess. But she's 200 years old. It's just how she sees things. You're a bit like me. You have this power inside of you. You just have to be mindful of it. I could turn into my wolf at any time and tear mostly anybody apart. But if I use that power all of the time, people will come to fear me and see me as a monster. If you use your dragon powers as threats, people might listen to those threats and learn to fear you. All of us here, we see you as hope. Hope to pull everything out of the darkness. Even Cecilia. When she looks at you, she sees the same things she saw in the Holy Crusader that helped save the world back then.
She's right. I used my gifts as a threat. I would never do such a thing. But I was just so angered over the Jarl's treatment of Minerva. It boils my blood when you guys are treated poorly. I will always stand beside all of you. Every last one of you joined me of your own free will. But Cecilia was right. I shouldn't have said those things. And I'll do better to remember the power I hold and how it can be seen as hope or fear.
I trust you'll never go bad, Dragonborn. I have something for you. Something personal to me. My ring. Well, the Ring of Hircine. I wish for you to have it. The Ring of Hircine is a powerful Daedric artifact. It allows turned werewolves full control of their inner wolf. It can also grant anybody that isn't a werewolf to transform into one, once a day. And well, I'm a pureborn, so I already have full control. And well, its second power is also of no use to me. I gave this to Cecilia once. Didn't think it would work because she was a vampire. Didn't she get a surprise? It was amazing, but also terrifying. A werewolf vampire.
Cecilia turned into a werewolf? Wow. I'm sorry, Freya. I've already been a vampire. I really don't want to be a werewolf.
You won't become a real werewolf. You'll have our power without being one of us. The ring is now yours, Dragonborn. Can't wait to see what you become with it. Good night, Dragonborn. See you in the morning.
Wow, the ring fits perfectly. Hopefully it doesn't turn me into a werewolf. I'll trust what Freya has to say. If anything, she's rather honest. A little too honest. Time to get some sleep. See if I have any more of these dreams. Tomorrow is another day. I'll either go and find out where this ruin is in my dreams, or learn some more magic.
This chapter was kind of unplanned. It's kind of the point though, you know, these are kind of the small adventures, the bits in between the larger stories. This is kind of how I see them anyway. You know, this is kind of all these characters that I've built over the year, or years, I don't know how long it's been now, where it's their time to mould and mix, and it's my first run on it, so I want to see how it goes. But, oh my god, oh, sorry. This is just like in between, so, and also to get to know the guild characters a bit more, as through the Dragonborn's eyes at least. And this tomb is the one Tonrot came to, you know, the Tomb of Ysgromor. And the next one right after this was his first settlement, you know. I kind of like, I'm not too sure I ever studied the lore or anything on this, but I'm pretty sure his tomb is where his boat landed, because right up the friggin' ice is Sarthal, his very first city of men in Tamriel, so I'm pretty sure he just wanted to be buried where he first landed, and it's not too far from his very first city. But we get to learn a lot more about these characters. You know, but when I first started this episode, it was obviously borrowed off the last episode. We went to Ysgramor's tomb, and then I kind of wanted to go to Sarthal, so I kind of wanted to explore the whole legacy of Ysgramor thing, while also blending and mixing these characters together. And then after that, I kind of got a little bit lost. Like, I didn't know where to go with it. It kind of turned into a Disney Star Wars project where it just wasn't planned at all. You know, and now that I think about it, I've kind of gone that direction where my main character's female, she's now kind of gay, and it's unplanned. But hopefully it's better. And after Sarthal, I was like, oh my god, what was he saying? Fuck. After Sarthal, I didn't really know what I wanted to do with it, so I took a couple of days and just, you know, went around my life doing my shit, and every now and then I'd be driving the car, be at the gym, and an idea would pop into my head. And I thought, why not just explore the College of Winterhold, get to know a lot more about Minerva, and mix them with the Dragonborn, because this place is a fortress, and it's an idea for a lot more of a personal touch between this story, where it's not always about traveling, learning words of power, and hunting dragons. It's a chance to have these characters, that I put into the story, sort of be around each other and live around each other and that sort of stuff. That kind of story where, you know, it's not always going to be about action, romance. It's just going to be the daily stuff, you know. Well, the chapters, they cut in between important bits, I like to think. Not all of them. Some of them should have definitely been episodes. But where like they'll time jump and they'll focus on one thing. This is kind of focusing on the Dragonborn and the people that follow her. So not just what she does, where she goes, but who she's with. And I really like that, because I like to think of the Dragonborn as a mix between everyone, you know, that I've created roles for, as the heavy armored sword and shield, the heavy armored two-hand, and the rogue or the mage, you know. And this is kind of her chance to learn some magic, because I've always thought about what happens after it's all done in the Dragonborn. You know, like, does she travel on her own? you know, with sword and shield, but also uses of her thumbs, but also uses a bit of magic on the side to help her out. Because it seems like a very versatile thing. It's very much like Minerva. She's very practical. She's a mage. She's also got 2 blades, a dagger and a sword, in case her magic fails her. But prominently, she's more of a mage. So I think with Ragni, it would be a bit more prominently more of a warrior, but have magic in the background. So she'd activate some healing magic, like you use when you're in danger, or a light spell, or shoot a projectile at somebody when they get close. Sword and shield comes out. You know, she might slow down time with the thumb, or push someone away, or this and that. Be a bit more of a versatile combatant with both sword, shield, heavy armor, and also some magic. So this is kind of her chance to be, you know, have a teacher show up in this. Because I like to think of all these guys as like Team Avatar from the Avatar Last Airbender, Legends of Korra, where they're not just friends, but they're also teachers. And I don't know, like I'm kind of like want Minerva to just especially be her Ragni's magical teacher, you know, teach her spells and magical things and stuff like that, where Cecilia will kind of teach her a bit more of, well, combat. Well, so will Senturos and Sigund, but they're there for a different sort of teaching. Not the sort of teaching you'd expect from 2 warriors, but sort of, I don't know if it's common sense, or I don't know the word for it. They'll teach her, well, kind of the negative effects on the war. She'll see it. She'll learn that from watching them throughout their time together. She'll learn what's right in her head, at least, or what she believes to be right. And that's kind of what I like about Centaurs and Sigund. They're not really there as martial combatants to train her how to fight. They're more there to protect her and also win her over to their side, but also at the very same time, they're to show her the reality of the war. Tonarok will definitely help out the two-handed with the katana, but you know, he uses a great sword. You know, Ragni's using kind of a katana. So the different sort of things, but they'll all spar and keep each other battle ready, this and that. Cecilia's going to be like the marshal, like the warden, which will make sure she is, especially when she gets her full armor. Because I've always wanted to do this, and I can't wait for it. But when I get the armor for this, I'm going to basically wipe out the current Ragni that I've got with a brand new one with no like blocking perks, or no speed perks on your armor, and no speed perks on your blocking, so she's going to be a lot slower, and over the time she'll suffer into this armor and it'll become like a second skin, which will make her again get stronger, where she'll look a lot stronger than she is now, and I'm thinking of even getting some new skin textures for that. But yeah, Cecilia's going to be that one just like, you know, stop being a little bitch and get to work. Ragni, I don't know if she'll take anything from the Nightingale. Maybe heard of, you know, be better with a bow, but I don't know. I don't bloody know. But yeah, this was kind of just a chance for them to all, you know, especially at the very end of it when we get to College of Winterhold, is a lot more just personal living together sort of thing. Having all these characters of their opinions and their ways of life and their stories and their views, just mixing and matching. And that's kind of what I liked about it. And I thought, you know, it'd be kind of good for our companions while they're having a rest, while they're in a comfortable place, to kind of show their affection towards the Dragonborn in a certain matter, as in, you know, fucking English is just failing me right now. Exe has stopped working. Azura's star is gifted to the Dragonborn, and it kind of makes sense, you know, in a certain larger story format, where, you know, Azura sees the Dragonborn coming to her and she sees the fate. But in this story, maybe she sees the Dragonborn but knows the Dragonborn will one day have a weapon but won't be able to find it without the hand of somebody else. And so maybe Azura's plan was to foresee Minerva, who was skilled enough to gather this item, but, you know, would protect it and look after it until one day she could hand it off into the hands of the Dragonborn, someone really worthy to hold it. And especially in my Oblivion story, and probably 90% of people's Oblivion stories, you handed off the Star of Azura to Martin Septon to be sacrificed for this, I'm not even going to try and pronounce the word, for the, you know, the gate to the paradise. So again, it comes to the aid of another last Dragonborn, but not in this time to be sacrificed, but to maybe charge her weapons, passively help her in a certain way. I really like that. But I'm just going to have a little quick diary and make sure I've caught everything up. This is a very sloppy outro, but at the end of the day, I'm kind of got bugger all time for this, and I got to smack. Also, with the naughty scenes, I look. End of the day, I really like people giving me constructive feedback, especially if it's the negative stuff, and a lot of it comes back as random sex scenes, which is good. And so, if they've already done the deed, you don't need to keep showing it off, okay? That just, it misses the point. So now, especially when we know Minerva and Tonarok are a bit of an item, you don't really have to see it. You just, the door fades black and you hear some stuff in the background, boop, it's gone. And did the same thing with Serana and the Ragni. In their stage, I don't really need to go into detail of this because that'd be a bit fucking odd. But at their stage, it's just light, sort of naked touching, nothing really like serious, where mouths are meeting genitals and anything like that. It's just, it's it's like creepy talking about this sort of shit. But it's lighthearted stuff at the moment. But, and I don't know, like, I've been thinking of, would she allow the Dragonborn to mess around, because she's now all about freedom, the Serana dialogue overhaul, about choosing what you want to do. Would she allow the choice to, like, be around other people, or is it going to be other... I don't know, man. It just gets into the whole adult perversion sort of thing, where you start pulling a polymorph bullshit and stuff like that. So, no, I kind of just want to keep it simple between her and Serana. And I wish there was a way I could make her die in the story, because I've tried, man. Serana has made me angry so many times that I've tried to murder her, and with console commands with mods, but she just refuses to die, and it upsets me. Having her die in a dragon fight probably make the Dragonborn a lot harsher to life. And that could even be a really good story element if I could figure out a way to do it. Maybe make a copy of her or something like that that will die. But I don't know. Maybe near there. I don't know. There's ideas floating in my head how both of these characters die at the very end of their lives, I guess you could say. That's as far as I'm going to go with it. Now, I really thought this look for her was actually quite cute. Her looking like a mage. And I didn't realise it, but I had turned the detection off. I was like, he didn't even look at me. He didn't even say hello to me. And then I was like, well, maybe it's because you look nothing like you normally do. So that makes sense. So I just went with it. But yeah, we get to learn a little bits of magic, and I kind of want this idea with Minerva to kind of travel onto the road. So they're setting up camp. Minerva might, do some magical dueling with her, teach her some new spells. The same thing with Cecilia, and the other combatants might duel with her and stuff like that, while they're idling by, and other characters are interacting with each other and stuff like that. Anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed. I don't think there's anything else I can remember. Hope you guys have enjoyed the story. There'll be another one, but I might skip through a couple of days. And then I kind of want to lead that episode into, I think, I want to learn a few more words of power, but I really kind of want to lead into, one of these episodes I want to lead into the Dragonborn DLC, where she's on the road, she's attacked by a cultist, and thinks, oh great, more people trying to kill me. But she kind of leaves it and blows it off, and later on starts to deal with the issue when something starts, well, stealing her souls. Kind of stopping her progress. But that's about it. Hope you guys have enjoyed. I'll catch you later. Look after yourselves, and see you in the next vid.